What's poppin'? It's your girl Boss Girl T, aka Tati, and I'm here with my co-host.
LB.
And today is the second episode of Pretty on Purpose podcast. Today's subject is going to be on in denial parents, and I'm going to start today's subject off with a question. Do you consider yourself an in denial parent?
You know what's crazy? That's a great question. I actually don't. I find myself and your mother extremely open with you when it comes to life, everyday events, and things that your mother and myself went through. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of parents out there that are in denial about what their kids do, and they kind of forgot about how they were as kids.
Okay, so speaking of parents, do you consider your parents when you were growing up being in denial of your behavior and how you acted?
Absolutely, because I was two different people when I was at home, or when I was what you consider in the streets, right? Mm-hmm. You know, my mother, I would proudly say I'm a mama's boy, and my mom kind of valued my relationship with her. So I'm pretty sure she was in denial about a lot of things that I'd done, you know, in my past as a youth. But yeah, I come from that type of background where my mother was in denial.
Okay, so why do you think parents put on like this in denial thing? Like, why do you think parents are in denial about their children? Do you think it's because they don't want to see the bad of their children, or is it because they just don't want to know? They don't want to hold on to it and be like, dang, my child does this.
I think it comes from the point of parents not having clear conversations with their kids. Mm-hmm. And because they didn't give them clear conversations, or they're afraid to talk to them about certain things, they rather not be in the know about what's going on in life. I have to preference, you know, one thing that I am extremely proud of, my parenting. I'm not the perfect parent, but I'm proud of that. I talk to you about everyday events. I talk to you about what's going on. I talk about sexuality. I talk about you becoming a lady. I talk about, you know, things with your brothers, about them being men, growing up and being little boys, and just those little hard conversations that it's hard to come by.
Do you think being in denial is like something that just comes and goes, or you think like can somebody change from being in denial?
I believe you can change from being in denial. You know, I'm all about breaking traditional curses. I don't want to walk in the same footsteps that my parents did, because there's a lot of things that my parents could have talked to me about that would have swayed me away from doing crazy things in life. You can change, but you have to want to change. You have to want to have those type of discussions with your kids on different topics, which allows your kids to open up to you.
Do you think because parents are so in denial, that's why so many kids today rebel as much as they do? Because they know when they go home and they put on this, oh, I'm so good, their parents are never going to know. Do you think that's why most kids today rebel?
Absolutely, because they seek excitement, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not excited when you're at home, if you're not having those type of conversations you're at home, you're going to have those conversations with somebody else, right? It might not be the best person to have that conversation with that's outside of your house, but the conversation will happen. But 9 times out of 10, when you have those type of conversations, you're not given the best advice. You're just not.
I think personally for me, because I'm so open with you guys, it's hard to like, quote unquote, rebel. Like I remember when I was with my group of friends and I had to like snuck into that little preschool, and I remember I came home instantly and was like, guys, look what I did, and I was so excited until you were like, Tati, you didn't really even do nothing. You just stood there. I was like, dang, I was really thinking I was out there rebelling. But I think it's just because you have to be able to have that relationship with your parents where you could talk to your parents. Obviously, your parents don't need to know everything in life. Obviously, you could keep some things to yourself. But I feel like when you're open and you're just honest with your parents, a lot of things just go through easier.
Right. We're not, I won't say go through easier, it's just that your parents aren't let down. Mm-hmm. The last thing you want to do is let your parents down, right?
Yeah.
Because if that happens, then comes restrictions, then comes punishment, then comes things of that nature. Rather, when you talk to your parents and you have open dialogue about how you're feeling, what's going on in your mind, the peer pressure that you're facing, your parents should, not all, but some should be a lot more open and honest about things that they've went through in their lives also.
Okay, so do you think it's different, like, when it's, like, just one parent involved? Like, let's say, for you and mommy,
Mhm.
obviously, everybody knows that I'm your favorite, and that's just gonna point, period.
Okay, well, you know, do this on national TV, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you think it's people rebel more towards, like, the one that they feel like they can rebel more towards instead of, like, letting down the one that's, like, more into them? Like, for me, when you get angry at me and when you get mad at me, I feel more pressure and I feel more disappointed in myself than I would when mommy gets mad at me. I obviously feel disappointed, but it's just harder on me when you do it. So do you think that's why kids act the way they act when it comes to, like, when it's two parents?
Right. I would have to probably say yes. You know, when you come to me with things that I might be disappointed in, is because I know for a fact that you know better. Because I've had those conversations with you. I've talked to you about A, B, and C. And when you don't follow, I don't want to make it rules, when you just don't follow the order that's going to keep you safe, that's going to keep you sane, that's going to keep you from being hurt, that disappoints me because my only goal in life is to, one, make sure you're happy, and two, keep yourself out of trouble.
Okay, so do you think when, this is with, like, divorced parents, do you think there's times where, like, when you have a divorced parent, you'll rebel at this person's house and you won't rebel at this person's house? Do you think people rebel because their parents are divorced just to make the parents feel bad because, like, something happened in that relationship?
I think the kid at that point is you're seeking attention. Because maybe that one parent that you're rebelling with didn't give you that attention or didn't give that type of conversation to you. So it's not rebelling, it's just that, hey, I'm crying out for attention, I'm crying out for you to help me.
Okay.
What's up, folks? This is LB, Tati's dad, being pretty on purpose. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe and leave some comments below. It really helps us out. Parents, I have a goal for you this week. In the comment section, write down 2 things that you think you can change at being parents, getting a little bit better at. With that being said, subscribe, like button, smash it, go crazy. Peace.
What are some ways that you can change in being an in denial parent? I wouldn't say you were in denial when me and my sister were younger, but I remember when we were younger, you were really, really strict on us about things. And I can't remember a time where, like, we were getting older and we actually started having open conversations. Is it because, like, we got older and you realized, like, the world around us, or is it because you, like, found it in yourself that you needed to change?
You know, it's a little bit of both. I also definitely know that the world is changing. So the way I was as a teenage kid is totally different than the way you are as a teenage kid. And you're my daughters. You know, it can sound sexist in a way, but I have to talk to you and act differently around you than I do with your brothers. I just do. Because you're gonna face a totally different world than they're gonna face, you know, in today's society. I knew I had to change within myself, because if I didn't, I felt like you would have made some terrible choices or decisions, because my parents weren't as open and honest with me as I am with you. And I always want you to view me as your dad, your father, the person that you love, the person that you look up to. But I also want you to know that I have imperfections also. And those imperfections, as long as I acknowledge them, that's what builds a character in yourself.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to have the character also.
Yeah. I feel like personally for me, because I'm the oldest, and I feel like I can speak for, like, a lot of people that are the oldest when they have multiple siblings, is that as the oldest, you experience your parents being stricter on you and being harder on you than you will see with your siblings that go on and your siblings that come.
Right.
I feel like, for me, like, I always remember you sitting at the table strict about my homework, always making sure I always got everything done. Whereas now, because I have my brothers, I see you help them with your homework, but I see you let them more, like, learn it themselves. You're not as hard on them as you were on me. And I find it kind of, like, crazy that I think it helped me more than it would have helped the boys if you were harder on them because they're younger.
Right. Well, each child is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each child is different with their learning curve. Each child is different the way they react to the things that I have to say to them.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, I felt because you're an African American woman into the world, the world's going to be a lot tougher on you. So I just wanted to prepare yourself and your sister as women to be ready for the battle of life, because it's harder for you. You know, it's true. Sometimes men get jobs over women, not because they're qualified. It's because sometimes they're just a man, which is totally messed up. But I just wanted to prepare you for what's to come. So yes, I was definitely a lot harder on you and your sister when it came to homework than I have been with your brothers. But I have to say, I want to pat myself on the back because your grade point average kind of worked out with your grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the question I want to end this episode on is, can you only be an in denial parent? Can you be like an in denial person in general? Like, when you see your friends or when you see your family doing something, it's like, do you not want to see them do it? Like, can you be an in denial person? Can you not just be an in denial parent?
You can be in denial about anything. You can be in denial about the person that you are. You can be in denial about your love life. You can be in denial about your kids. You can be in denial about anything. The best thing that you can possibly do is be real with yourself. Once you're real with yourself and you appreciate the person that you actually are, you won't be in denial about what's to come for you in life. Just be yourself. Don't fake it. Be you and be happy with who you are.
Okay, guys, so that's it for today's episode 2 of Pretty on Purpose podcast. We will see you next Monday for episode 3. Bye.